If you're applying to family medicine as an IMG, what residency program should you consider in the state of California? That's the focus of today's video. I'm Dr. Rajani Katta. I'm the author of The Successful Match, Rules for Success in the Residency Match, as well as a part of MD2B Connect, where we have worked with many IMGs over the years. And one of the states that garners a lot of interest is the state of California. California is one of the largest states in the United States, and it has a very diverse population. In addition, if you're applying to family medicine, it has 74 family medicine residency programs, which means that there's a lot to choose from. In this video, though, you'll notice that we highlight the top 20. And these are the programs that we consider to be the most IMG-friendly family medicine programs in the state. And when you're looking at these specific residency programs, we're focusing on more than just what percentage of the residents are IMGs. We're looking at other specific criteria that programs write about. And these are criteria that might be number of years since medical school graduation, it might be number of months of U.S. clinical experience, and it might be minimum step scores. These are all factors that you have to consider and take into account when you're deciding what programs to target, because it may not be worth your while to apply to all 74 family medicine residency programs because you may not meet their criteria. So in this video, we're going to highlight what we consider to be the top 20 most IMG-friendly family medicine residency programs in the state of California, and we'll go over them one by one. With these top 20 programs in California, we have a lot to get through, and I'm going to start right off the bat with the Clinica Sierra Vista Bakersfield program. And this one's in Bakersfield, California. 100% are IMGs, so something to consider. You do require step 1 and step 2, but they don't have a minimum cutoff score, which is very helpful. They also do not have a graduation year cutoff, and they do not require a specific amount of U.S. clinical experience. So this is a program that could be favorable to a number of different applicant profiles. I will point out, though, that they do not offer visas. The next program, Adventist Health Hanford program in Hanford, California. 93% are IMGs. Now, their USMLE requirements are fairly generous in the sense that they require no more than 2 failed attempts. So if you do have a failed attempt, this is not going to exclude you from consideration. This is still a program that you can consider. They're not specific in terms of U.S. clinical experience, but they do want a graduation date within the past 5 years. Notice, though, that there are no visas offered here. Eisenhower Medical Center program in Rancho Mirage, 59% IMGs, so not as many. However, they're pretty generous in terms of step 1 and step 2. They do require graduation within the past 5 years, so keep that in mind. There are no visas offered, so if you're requiring a visa, this is not a program to consider. The San Joaquin General Hospital program, 71% IMGs. They are specifically stating that they do not have a minimum score cutoff for step 1 and step 2, although you cannot have more than 1 failure combined between step 1 and step 2. They do want graduation within the past 3 years. They do prefer U.S. clinical experience, and they are offering a J-1 visa. So this may be a program to consider if you have failed either step 1 or step 2 and still want to be able to apply. St. Joseph Hospital Eureka program in Eureka, California, 41% are IMGs. They don't have a specific cutoff score, but you cannot have had any more than 2 board failures, and they want to see that you've graduated within the past 2 years. Now, they don't offer a visa, so that's something to keep in mind. The Valley Consortium for Medical Education Family Medicine program in Modesto, California, 53% IMGs, and they do have cutoff scores. Step 1 and step 2, you need at least a 210. And they want to make sure that you've graduated within the past 5 years. They do prefer U.S. clinical experience, and they want that within the past 2 years. They don't offer any visas. The Shasta Community Health Center program in Redding, California, not as many IMGs, 33%, but they're pretty generous in terms of the step 1 and step 2. They just want to make sure that you've had no more than one failed attempt combined between step 1 and step 2. Now, they are specific that they want U.S. clinical experience. It's required, and they're not interested in observerships. They really want to make sure that you've had hands-on U.S. clinical experience. And one thing to really remember is they want recent med school graduates. So they want to make sure that you've graduated within the past 1 year. They don't offer any visas, but this might be a program to consider if you're a recent graduate and you're a U.S. IMG. Alta Med Health Services program from Southgate, 58% are IMGs, and they just require that you've passed step 1 and step 2. Now, if you are not a recent graduate from med school, this might be a consideration because they don't have a cutoff date. They don't offer any visas, so something to consider. I will highlight, though, that they require at least or prefer 6 to 12 months of hands-on U.S. clinical experience. So if you don't have that, it may not be worth your while to apply, but if you don't have that yet, it might be worth your while to try to obtain that U.S. clinical experience. Adventist Health Tulare program, 67% are IMGs. A failure on step 1 or step 2 is okay, but you do need to make sure that you have passed by your second attempt on both of those. And no visas are offered, and they do prefer that you've graduated med school within the past 5 years. The Kaweah Delta Healthcare District in Visalia, 24% are IMGs. They do want to make sure that you've had at least a 210 on your step 1. They do require U.S. clinical experience, and I really want to highlight this point. They're preferring graduation from medical school within the past 2 years. They do offer a J1 visa. Adventist Health Glendale program is 17% IMGs, so not a large number, but we're going to include it on the list because they don't have a specific cutoff score. They just want to make sure that you've passed the step 1 and step 2 and that you've graduated within the past 5 years. And they do, I'm going to highlight, they need at least 6 months of U.S. clinical experience. They don't offer any visas either. The California Hospital Medical Center Dignity Health Program in Los Angeles, the majority are IMGs, 55%, and no cutoff scores. You just need to have the step 1 and step 2. They do prefer that you have graduated within the past 5 years. Again, no visas for this program are offered. Mercy Medical Center in Merced is 79% IMGs, so quite a few. And they do have cutoff scores, 200 and 225. And I want to highlight that no more than one failure combined between step 1 and step 2. If you do have one failure, it might still be worth your while to apply here. They want to make sure that you've graduated within the past 5 years and there are no visas offered. Arrowhead Regional Medical Center program in Colton, a lot of IMGs at this program, 88%. They don't have a cutoff score for step 1 or step 2. You just need to have passed to apply. Now, if you have, they prefer that you have graduated within the past 3 years, but if you have not, then they do require U.S. clinical experience. There are no visas offered for this program. The Keck medicine program in Los Angeles. This is a competitive program. Only 16% are IMGs, but they don't have USMLE cutoff scores. You just have to. They just require that score to apply, and they do prefer a medical school graduation within the past 3 years. No visas are offered at this program. The Natividad Medical Center program in Salinas, California, 33% IMGs, no cutoff scores. They just want to make sure that you have your step 1 and step 2 score and that you have graduated medical school within the past 3 years. Again, no visas offered for this program. UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, Fresno program in Fresno, California, has 24% IMGs. Again, no cutoff scores. They just need a step 1 and a step 2 score. They do offer a J1 visa, and if it's been a while since you've graduated from med school, note that they are not stating a preference for school for a year of graduation from medical school. So this may be a program to consider. Loma Linda University Medical Center, Murrieta. Only 13% are IMGs, and they do have cutoff scores. They want to make sure that you have passed on the first attempt with a 220 for both step 1 and step 2, and they want to make sure that you have graduated medical school within the past 3 years. However, if you do meet those requirements, they do offer both J1 and H1B visas. So one to consider if you have strong USMLE scores and are a recent med school graduate. The Kaiser Permanente Southern California program, Riverside, has 28% IMGs, and there are no cutoff scores. You just need a step 1 and a step 2 score. And they do not have a medical school graduation date cutoff. So this may be helpful for some of our applicants. And they do offer J1 and H1B visas. So this may be a program to consider for some of our applicants. St. Joseph's Medical Center program in Stockton, California, majority are IMGs, 53%. They do have cutoff scores, 221 and 237. Note that you cannot have more than one failed attempt at combined between step 1 and step 2. And in addition, they do have a graduation cutoff date within the past 2 years. There are no visas offered either. So that ends our roundup for the California family medicine programs. And from all of us here at MD2B Connect, I'm Dr. Rajani Katta, and with my partner, Dr. Samir Desai, we wish you the best of luck.